Hello everyone, bringing you a quick video today looking at the contents of the display cabinet, which I've obviously done videos on previously, as I swap them around fairly regularly to try and enjoy the collection as much as I can. Obviously some of it has to remain in drawers, but it's nice to rotate what's on display. Previously it's had obviously hold all contents and so forth. Today we're just going to be looking at some ration tins, which I've displayed purely because I find them aesthetically pleasing, and I think the way I've displayed them looks rather nice. But I just thought it'd be interesting to have a run through and see what's on display at the moment. So without further ado, we'll take a look at the contents of the cabinet. So what you can see here is a selection of ration and foot powder tins and obviously sterilising tins as well, from the mid to late war period, with a couple of little caveats which we'll get to as we go through. The tins, obviously from this time period, the British tins are in the brown colour with printing in turquoise or a green lettering on them. So the Naval Action Ration is more of a dark grey with lighter grey lettering, and then the sterilising outfit tins obviously are lettered differently. And of course we have the khaki Australian emergency ration tin as well, but we'll talk about these in a little bit more detail. We'll go through these in the normal manner, so back to front and then left to right across the cabinet. And in the back corner here we have a British foot powder tin. It's a little difficult to see actually from the viewing angle here, but this is made by C (E) Limited, and obviously it's a mid-war onwards foot powder tin. The very early ones were gold lacquered, which is also true of early ration tins as well. In front of that we have an emergency ration from Australia, and obviously these differ slightly in the way they're printed and so forth, the lettering. You almost have a sort of cartoony D, broad arrow D for the Defence Department at the bottom there. This is the type A2, introduced in 1942 and used through mid-1944. And then in front of that we have an Australian sterilising outfit. Now this is a post-Second World War example. I believe wartime the tin differs in having a hinged lid, although that may have changed during the war, very late production. I'm not entirely sure on that, but these have plastic stoppered. This has two plastic stoppered bottles inside, and during the war they would have been cork stoppers as far as I'm aware. So there's a slight difference there. Visually very, very similar, and for the display I've put it in there because it nicely links in with the emergency ration tin, but not strictly entirely accurate, my understanding, for Second World War. But it looks nice, and it's nice to have it displayed in there. And obviously this is for my own enjoyment. I understand the slight inaccuracy there. At the back, in the centre, we have the chocolate and boiled sweets tin. You can see this is March 1943. As I say, this style of printing and the colour of the tin, sort of mid through late war in British use. Obviously this is a British ration tin, moving back to British items. And again, we have a sterilising outfit here with the sterilising tablets and the Thios tablets in their little cork stoppered bottles. And you can see very clearly here, these have nicely retained their blue coloration. The Thios tablets here, often they fade, but these have remained nice and blue, which obviously gives you the differentiation between the two and the instructions. And in front here we have the Naval Action Ration. This would of course contain barley sugars and chewing gum. And I believe there is a video obviously on I think it's MRE Info. Forget the channel name anyway, but they're very famous, the chap who opens up old rations and eats them. There is an example of the Naval Action Ration over there, which is well worth having a look at, and he rather likes the barley sugars which come out of that. And then the final row here on the right hand side we have another foot powder tin, and as you can see these are 1 3/4 ounces, and you have R&C Limited. And then we have the boiled sweet salt and matches tin in front of that, which contained exactly what it says, boiled sweets, little packets of salt and some matches. And this is quite a sought after tin, because these are seen in the collection of kit carried by Fusilier Payne when he was requested to dump out the contents of his haversack, and obviously photographed in 1944 he has one of these tins. So quite a sought after item from that point of view, and something I've wanted to get for that point of view of recreating those contents. And then we have another foot powder tin at the front here, and this again is by R&C Limited, but just a different design of tin. It's still the same volume, 1 3/4 ounces, still the same weight of powder, but in a different square or oblong tin. Just a slight manufacturing variation essentially, and as I say, just nice to have this selection of different tins of this time period and in this printing style laid out in the cabinet here. No particular rhyme or reason, just a little selection of tins that I rather like the look of. Obviously linked to some degree in time period, and a mix of ration and other items. But as I say, it was visually pleasing, and that's why I've put it together, and I thought it'd be worth having a quick look at in the video. So there we are. That was a quick look at the contents of the cabinet as I have them at the moment. As I say, just some ration tins basically, but I think it looks rather nice with them together in there. And that's the aim of the game, is to aesthetically display the collection, or a portion of it. Obviously, when you have a rather large collection of small kit, it can be nice to rotate the items that are on display so that you get enjoyment from the collection that way. Hopefully you'll have found the videos looking at the different ways I've done that in the cabinet inspiring if you have a similar collection. But I hope you found it interesting regardless of that, obviously. If you do like my uploads and you find this sort of thing interesting, then obviously please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. And of course, if you really like my uploads, there is the option to support the channel through both Patreon and PayPal. Thank you very much to everyone who supports the channel through those two means. It really is very much appreciated. As I'm repeatedly saying, it really is very, very much appreciated. So thank you very much to all of you. There is, of course, also a Facebook and an Instagram, and now a Twitter as well for the channel. Should you wish to follow on social media, you can do. They're all linked down below. And also an email address. Should you wish to get in touch with me, but you don't really use social media, there is an email address down below, and don't hesitate to drop me a line using that method as well. But that's everything for this video. So until next time, bye for now.